Here's what's making news now around Indiana. It appears Maryville won't be able to move as quickly as it had hoped in pursuing a food and beverage tax. Our partners at the Times of Northwest Indiana report town officials had wanted to quickly get potential legislation in the hands of lawmakers regarding a 1% tax that would be applied to restaurant meals purchased in the Lake County city, but that now appears unlikely this session. An analysis has suggested that Maryville could generate $2.5 to $4 million annually with a food and beverage tax, which could help fund a proposed convention center. Whiting is known for its annual Pierogi Fest, and now another fair is coming to town over Father's Day weekend this June. Custer Fair, the once popular street fair in Evanston, Illinois, is headed east. The move stems from a dispute between festival organizers and Evanston city officials. Fair organizers say the event took a big hit financially. The city of Evanston says it hasn't been reimbursed for services provided. Well, the NBA All-Star Weekend is still about a year away, but the host committee wants the impact to extend far beyond the action on the hardwood. This week, organizers announced that the organizations and the communities statewide that will benefit from more than $1 million in capital improvement projects, all part of a major legacy initiative. I sat down with Pacer Sports and Entertainment President and local host committee founding chair Rick Fuson to talk about the projects, honoring 21 rising stars, and lessons learned at the Chicago All-Star Game. Well, Rick, you just returned recently from the NBA All-Star Game in Chicago. A lot of fanfare, a lot of activity. First of all, what'd you take in? What was your reaction, or kind of the reaction to the weekend?
Well, we always learn things from each city we've gone to. We've been to L.A., we've been to New Orleans, we've been to Charlotte. I've been to them. I was at the Chicago All-Star Game back when they did in 1988. So, you know, we've certainly learned a lot. Chicago does a great job. They just have a different setup than we have in Indianapolis. So, you know, we went to the Wintrust Arena is down by McCormick Place. We had to go to the United Center. They did some things at the Navy Pier, and it's a little bit different because you got to get in a cab or you got to get on a bus, and it takes some time, and you know they get a little more traffic. Yeah. But here in downtown, I mean, I think the other thing it taught us was, man, don't we really have a great campus downtown? 7,200 hotel rooms. You can walk, you can walk from Bankers Life Fieldhouse to the Convention Center to Lucas Oil Stadium in 10 minutes or 15 minutes. A nice deal. Given
that tight package that Indianapolis has such a great reputation for around the country as a big sporting event host, what's the atmosphere? What's the vibe going to be like down here next year?
There will be a vibe.
Yeah.
That's a little bit different than some of the big cities we've seen. You know, you have some banners and whatever else, but there's a lot of other things going on. In Chicago, there was the auto show going on. This will be about the NBA All-Star Game and about our love of basketball, on that Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Think about it. Valentine's Day is the day of the game. So isn't it perfect that we can talk about our love of basketball on the day of love in everybody's life?
Maybe a theme there. We'll stay tuned. We'll stay tuned for that. Indianapolis is famous really for legacy projects, hosting big events and having a legacy. That's certainly going to be the case next year with the NBA All-Star Game. Talk about this legacy project.
Yeah, I think the NBA's had some legacy programs. When we were in India, we did a legacy program with the Sacramento and the NBA. So we've tried to do this year, around the world. But this legacy program that our local organizing committee came up with is really a little bit different because we're celebrating communities across our state. We are the Indiana Pacers. We are the Indiana Fever. We do grow basketball in our state. We love basketball. And so there are 21 different organizations across the state of Indiana that were awarded the grants, which is over $1 million total. And so, they were announced last week. So it's a great thing. It's just not about Marion County, or it's just not about the central part. We've got them in Lake and Porter County. We've got them in Evansville. So east and west as well. So it's a great opportunity for us.
Give us an idea, Rick, of some of these projects. Again, you have a bunch around the state, but what kind of projects are we talking about?
Well, we announced them this last week at the Concord Neighborhood Center. Serving all kind of different folks on the near south side of Indianapolis, not too far out of the shadow of Lucas Oil Stadium. That's one. They've done great work, and they'll not only be bricks and mortar of doing basketball courts where all kind of different people can play, but it's also STEM labs grabs, it's educational opportunities. And you know, one that's really dear to lots of people's hearts, up in Delphi, you know, where those two young ladies were so brutally murdered, the foundation's been started. One of the grantees is there in the park system that's going to start a hiking trail. And so it's so many different ways that I think that the All-Star Game can give back.
Also should mention 21 rising stars, right, around the state are going to be selected.
Yeah, each of the groups from the grantees has given us names of 3 individuals who are the class of 21, and they will be chosen. One of them will be chosen as a rising star. They'll get a scholarship, and they'll be part of the All-Star Weekend as well. So really fun.
Final question for you. Just have a few seconds left here, Rick. But this is an opportunity not only for economic impact, but really for Indianapolis, Pacers, Fevers, everyone to kind of be in that national spotlight.
Yeah, you know, I mean, the sports business and the economic impact from not only sports but the convention business is huge in our state. There's no question about that. This is over $100 million in terms of economic impact coming back to the city and the state. And you combine that with the other things that are coming to Indianapolis with the NCAA Final Four just 6 weeks later, followed then by Big Ten football and basketball, and then the National College Football Championship. It's probably nearly $600 million impact. That's not something to take lightly.
The NBA All-Star Weekend about a year away. Rick Fuson, as always, thanks very much.
Appreciate your support.
All right.